Next, let's look at lists, starting with OL for numbered lists. So you have start OL, end OL. That means a numbered list. And inside, you have pairs of LIs, list items. And the text inside each of the LIs will be set off indented and with a number. Now again, visual appearance can be controlled by CSS. And so lists, either ordered numbered lists or UL, which will be bulleted lists, are heavily used for things other than things that look like lists. And they can be controlled extensively by CSS. You can turn off the numbering, you can turn off the bullets, you can rearrange kind of where they appear on the page, and they're used for other purposes as well, like for menus. But by default, OL is a numbered list with the list items indented a little bit to the right, and UL, which we'll get to shortly, is a bulleted list with the list items indented again a little bit to the right. LI is the thing inside, and so here's a quick example. I have an OL, and inside it I have some pairs of LIs, and they get indented a little bit to the right and numbered. Okay, you can of course nest these as well, and there are some type attributes you can supply to say what kind of numbering, Roman numerals, alphabetic uppercase, alphabetic lowercase, and so forth. And this is quite useful when you nest them, so you can have this, kind of an extensive heading with subheadings and so forth. And so my indentation over here is not why it's indented over here on the right. The white space in your source code is ignored. I'm just doing it so that you can see more easily where I have one list inside of another list. Next, let's look at UL for bulleted or unordered lists. So you use the UL element instead of the OL element, but you put list items inside the same way as you did before, and they come out bulleted rather than numbered. Now, a number of people are confused. Why are these called unordered lists? Surely the order that you define the LIs in the text is the order they come out in the page, and of course that's true. If you put item 1 first, it's going to come out first, and you put item 2 second, it's going to come out second. So why are they called unordered lists? Well, this has to do with a convention on paper. The convention on paper was if you're giving 3 things to somebody and they need to do them in order, you number the 3 things. Step 1, step 2, step 3. You need to do step 1 and then you need to do step 2, and after you do step 2, you have to do step 3. So that's like a recipe. Mix in the eggs and then beat it for a while and then put it in the pan and then cook it in the oven. Those have to be done in order, so you number them. Whereas when you use bullets, you're listing a bunch of items, but they don't imply any order. So here are my 3 favorite foods: xiaolongbao, tacos al pastor, and mangoes with sticky rice. I'm not implying an order. I'm not saying that tacos al pastor is better than xiaolongbao. I'm just saying these are my 3 favorite foods in general, and there's not do the one thing first and then the second thing and then the third thing. And so it's called UL, not because the order that it'll appear in the browser is indeterminate, but because it's typically used to show things that don't have to be done in an order, like a bunch of options. Okay, it has an attribute called type, where you can control what the bullet looks like. This is going to also be controlled with CSS. And the list items also have a type, where you can control individually what each list item looks like. So here's a quick sample. Because I'm using UL, it's rendered with bullets. Again, you can turn off that look by using CSS. And so UL elements are used quite widely for other things like drop-down menus, but the default look is with a bullet. Okay, a quick illustration of the type attribute, where you can control what the bullets look like. And again, the reason that the lists on the right are indented is not because I've indented my HTML source code, but because the items are nested.